The Reds are sitting at 2-4 through their first week of the season. After exploding for 14 runs on Monday, the Reds were shut out 1-0 in back-to-back games at home for the first time since 1907 by the Rangers. How big of a concern are the offensive struggles this early in the season, Skinny?
You have to say they are. I mean, not only were they shut out those two games, but on Sunday, Robbie Ray had a perfect game through 5 innings for the Giants. I believe after the 14-run game, Nathan Eovaldi had a perfect game through 4 innings. And I think yesterday, I think Leiter got the first 11 out, and then Ellie doubled. I believe that's right. So they've gone through the lineup at least one time in 3 of the last 4 games without getting on base. That rings the alarm bells right there.
And I don't think it's so much that they struggled through the first few games that rings the alarm bell. It's the fact that the concern about this team was that coming in. It was that they don't have enough punch in the middle of their lineup. The back end of the lineup is going to be a little weak. They don't have enough talent in the outfield. Those were the concerns that I think most realistic people had. We talked about it last week. I felt it was hard to get excited for this team because it felt like in many ways they're running it back with last year's group, aside from the idea that, well, at least some of the guys that were supposed to be good last year are going to be more healthy this year. And to me, that's just not enough. Maybe it'll turn out to be as we go on. Maybe things will turn around quickly because, again, it is just a few games. And in a baseball season, when you have 162 of them, it's silly to make sweeping generalizations after the first week. But these aren't sweeping generalizations coming from a couple of bad performances. These are comments coming after everyone was kind of worried about this roster going into the season.
Yeah, and listen, I was the one I'm still sticking to it, that I still think the team can win the division. But I did see this. I can't remember where I saw this, but I thought it was well said that this isn't just a 6-game sample size for some of these guys. Yeah. It's a 168-game sample size for some of these guys, and I think that's a fair point to make.
That's a really good way of looking at it. Who are you most concerned about right now?
I mean, I would say like a Candelario, but I mean, he didn't hit last year either. So how can I be concerned about him?
Yeah, maybe he just stinks.
I mean, Friedel, I guess, but maybe Friedel was just nothing more than a flash in the pan. Fraley's really concerning because last year he was dealing with a lot of stuff. We all know about his child, and certainly that affected him, and he lost his power, but now he doesn't hit at all. So is this now a guy who's just on the decline of his career? I mean, literally, Jake Fraley, in a perfect world, is a 4th outfielder at best. Always was, always has been, always will be.
Correct.
He had a hot stretch in 2023 where he started to hit some home runs, and he hit like 279, and I think that's where you thought he was going to land for a couple of years. But you see it, man. At some point, you hit that part of your career where here comes the other side of it, and that feels like where he's at. He's on the other side of it.
Well, and the reality is the difference between a lot of the guys who, I mean, not stars, but the guys who succeed and are just borderline starters in everyday Major League Baseball and the guys who never really make it isn't that great. And it feels like a lot of times the Reds hang on to a good month or two for some of these guys and let them play it out over 3-4 years, trying to recapture the magic of like 1 or 2 months for some of them where they were really good. And the reality is like, that's everybody in the major, like anybody can have a good month or two. It really is the consistency factor that adds up. And I mean, with Fraley, he's one. And then the other one is Spencer Steer. Both of them are off to horrid starts. Yeah. Do you sit Steer down at this point and wait till he's healthy? That has to be hampering him, right?
Yeah, I would almost put him on the IL until he feels like that shoulder's right, then let him get down to Louisville for some rehab at bats, because he looks a mess at the plate. And I think the longer you let him be a mess at the plate, the worse it's going to get for him.
Yeah. Well, 2 guys who aren't struggling right now, Ellie De La Cruz and Matt McClain. Skinny, McClain has homered 3 times already. Ellie has homered twice and driven in 8 runs already. Again, I know it's early, but with McClain especially, how good is it to see him pick up basically right where he left off after the 2023 season after missing all of last year?
Yeah, no, he's one of my favorite players that's come along in a long time. I just love the way he plays. I love the skill set, all the things about him. And Ellie's just Ellie. I mean, I don't know. Did you watch any of the afternoon game on Wednesday?
Yeah.
The catch was so I had the radio on. I was taking a shower, so I had the radio on, and I had the TV on in the living room, and I was walking from the shower, and I heard the catch on the radio before I saw it on TV. So I kind of scamper real quickly into the living room and look at the TV. I'm like, is this the play? I don't even see him. Is this the play? All of a sudden he comes out of nowhere to make that catch. I'm like, oh my word. I mean, you had to see it really to understand how unbelievable that catch was.
The ground that he covered.
It's crazy.
And then the fact that he kind of like snatched it right before it got to the ground. It really was a nice sliding catch.
It's incredible. Just incredible. He does just ridiculous things. I think the one thing you can hang your hat on, though, listen, I never thought this offense was going to be great. I thought it was going to be good enough combined with the pitching. And for the most part, the pitching's been pretty damn good.
Yeah. Concerns about the bullpen, I would say, but the starting pitching's been impressive.
Yeah, I mean, I chalk most of the bullpen up to the one outing, the Jabot outing. I mean,
that's true.
Most of the rest of it. And again, to Terry Francona's credit, he tried Jabot as the closer the one time, didn't work out, and decided, okay, that's probably not his role. Let me go to somebody else. And Emilio Pagan came in the next time and shut the door. So, I think this pitching staff is going to keep them in a lot of games, and I think at some point you'll get just enough offense. I don't think it'll be this bad. Now, I will tell you, if you look down in Louisville, Will Benson's raking. Reese Hines is raking. Noelvi Marte's raking. My fear is they're all going to come up. We're all going to hang our hopes on those guys and come to find out they're all 4A players.
Yeah, that's the concern. Now, Reese Hines, I still have some hope for. I'm cautiously optimistic about Reese Hines and the fact that he might be able to get back up here at some point this year.
I think he's a guy that you got to live with the streaks, because I think when the good streaks are good, they're real. I don't want to compare him completely to Adam Dunn. I always when I did talk radio back in the day, I used to make a point on Adam Dunn that when he's going great, you stick him in the 4-hole and go. And when he's going bad, put him down at number 7 because he's just in one of those funks. He's going to get you a couple walks. He might run into one, but this is a 2 for 23 coming, and you can see when it starts and you can feel it. Instead, I think sometimes managers get so locked into that's where this guy's got to hit. No, you can move him. You're allowed. I mean, they have 9 spots in the order. You're allowed to bat him anywhere you feel like.
Yeah, they get so worked up about their mentality. It's like, well, Chief, do you think it's good for his mentality when he's going 1 for 30? No, I mean, right. he knows it's happening. So I think he's fine with you messing around and tinkering a little bit too. Speaking of tinkering, this is a perfect segue. Torpedo bats. Are you sick of that term already, or are you interested in this conversation at all?
I'm not sick of it. I just it's legal. I just wonder how long Major League Baseball decides that they are legal. Then they come up with some kind of loophole that says, you got to have the weight in a certain area to make it a legal bat. You can't shift the weight here. Maybe they don't. And, was Ellie's 2 home runs because of the torpedo bat, or was Ellie's 2 home runs because Ellie has enough power to hit 2 home runs in a game, right?
Yeah, it's weird because it does seem like, I mean, it's more than just Ellie, right? The Yankees were the ones who kind of implemented this new bat style.
Aaron Judge didn't use it and hit 4 home runs.
Right. I mean, they've been doing it going back to last year, right? Oh. Trevino was on the Reds now. He used to do it with the Yankees previously.
He's the one that turned Ellie onto the torpedo bat.
Yeah, so it's not a new thing necessarily, and the Yankees they tied the MLB home run record with 15 homers in their first 3 games, but it was against the Brewers, who are giving up tons of runs to everybody.
Correct. And the other part to it is the following: the 3 home runs on 3 pitches that they hit. Paul Goldschmidt, MVP at one point. Cody Bellinger, MVP at one point. Aaron Judge, MVP at one point. Was it torpedo bats, or was it these guys are pretty good players?
Yeah, I mean, do you think it's a real difference maker, or do you think it's just something that's completely overhyped because of that one weekend? And it's like, okay, it might make a slight difference over time, but it's going to be kind of like corking the bats or something.
And from what I understand is the sweet spot really hasn't changed a ton. It's just when you hit it in the spots where normally you would have misses, for lack of a better term, or, flare one, you get a little bit more solid contact. So again, did Ellie hit a 436-foot home run because of the torpedo bat? Or was it because Ellie can hit 436-foot home runs? And he did it without the torpedo bat before.
This is one of the things that makes Ellie so fun is that, one, he likes this type of stuff. He gets into the bat knob thing. He's into the accessories and the little innovations that might give him an edge. So he'll try these things out, but then he's also good enough that, like, you want to believe, oh, this new thing is the greatest thing ever because Ellie's doing great with it. And in reality, it's like Ellie's just an incredible athlete.
Yeah. The other thing too is, again, maybe the bat does feel different and all those things. And I get that part of it. But maybe it's also a coincidence that players, hey, I got the torpedo bat, man. I can do some special things with it. And I always say this. I mean, as a fan, you can't have superstitions. Players, they can have superstitions because you know why? If it makes them mentally better, that's a good thing.
The placebo effect is 100% real.
Yeah, no, right.
And I believe that 100%. As long as I live, I'll believe that's real.
Yeah, that's where I wonder if that's kind of tied into it as well. I got this new bat. And, the first time you do something special with it, right? It's like, oh, wow. Okay, it's like I get a new driver, and the first time I hit a really good drive, I'm like, oh, it's the new. No, my swing still sucks, and I'm gonna shank a few here and there too. So it is what it is.
The mind's a weird thing, and sometimes that just works for you,
Yep.
right? Like if you think it's working for you, it actually will work for you for at least a little bit. And maybe that's what's going on with these torpedo bats to some extent. Do you think the MLB should be looking at banning them at all if it continues?
No. I mean, again,
I don't think so either.
If they meet their legal specs, I mean, I guess you could go and go, the weight's not distributed properly. We need to have the weight. I mean, you could go back, I guess, and rewrite the rule of the weight has to be distributed a certain way. But no, I don't think they should be in the day. Again, if they pass legal specs and Major League Baseball says they do, and so what?
Yeah, I love this, honestly. I know some people are getting sick of hearing about them, but I think, one, baseball needs drama. It needs storylines throughout the season because it's a long, boring season anyway. And this is a great storyline. It's fun to talk about, and it's got people all worked up. And two, innovation like this in sports, there's not many times where we see like equipment being innovated that makes an actual difference. This is kind of cool if it is something that is going to change the way the game is played and the way the game works. I don't think it's so drastic that it's like a big problem for the integrity of the sport, but I do think it is something that's interesting enough that like, hey, there might be a slight advantage here. And are guys going to make that switch and use a different bat from what they've been using their entire careers coming up? But a lot of those decisions that are going to be made as it relates to those are interesting decisions as it relates to sports, in my opinion.
And some of them may not like the feel of them. I mean,
yeah.
Bats are a personal thing for guys. I mean, one guy uses a 36-29, another guy uses a 40-38, a club. I used to have one of those old George Foster black bats, and those things weighed a ton. I don't even know how the guy swung that thing back in the day, but it worked for him.
I don't think any dudes are swinging those real heavy bats anymore, are they? They've all gotten pretty light at this point, I think.
Yeah, I would hope so. I mean, especially as fast as guys are throwing it nowadays.
Yeah. Anything else on the Reds or baseball?
No, the whole sky is falling mentality just cracks me up. And then I'm going to do a quick rant on sports fans. I know rooting for your teams are personal things. I get it. I understand that. But I heard a caller on our local sports talk show on Wednesday who said, I'm 30 years old. Reds haven't really won in my lifetime, and that's all I've got. And I almost cried. I'm like, dude, and he was really sad. I mean, I think he was really serious about it. If you're that tied up in it, man, you need to re-examine some stuff, my guy.